Krishna Kumar Shah, or KK as he is known to us, is a mentor, friend, and teacher to many of the Westerners who have come to India in search of the extraordinary being known as Neem Karoli Baba, or Maharaji. In particular, he was the first Hindi translator for Ram Das, previously known as Dr. Richard Alpert, when he first met the Guru in 1967, as he was searching for what he called a map of consciousness. It was KK who was instructed by Maharaji to take Ram Das back to his family home and show him the love and affection of an Indian family. KK is part of a highly unusual family that was host to some of the most esteemed saints of the 20th century in northern India in an area called Deva Bhumi, or Land of the Gods.
Bhagwan Das and Ram Das, they came. Bhagwan Das came and he pranamed.
You were there?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't. You were in Bhumiyadar when...
I was the interpreter the very first day. So, and everybody, he pranamed, but Ram Das was just, he had that kind of ego and haughty, what you call, very haughty type of person. He need not to just do pranam, and he was, I remember he was in jeans, and he was looking at Maharaji as if he was a beggar or like that, or he must be thinking that also us, he must have been thinking that we are crazy guys surrounding that bulky man in the blanket. He didn't care. Then in the meantime, Maharaji, this Bhagwan Das said something to him. He said, first take food. So we were sitting on this ridge near about 10 minutes walk from to temple. He sent them both take prasad, then they returned back. And after that he started talking. Then Ram Das was a bit milder when he returned back. Perhaps Bhagwan Das must have told him something or whatever it was. Then he started talking about his mother and all that. Just it was hardly 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes. Then he said, go, and he asked me to take him to my house. And then he called me again. Don't serve him this food, Pahadi food. So give him toast. I said, all right, that I will do. And we feel so privileged that Maharaji has sent this man to, he was, outwardly he was well dressed and all that. Because Bhagwan Das was not like this. So we felt a bit proud of that. Our house is being visited by, and we didn't know about this education, his being a professor of Harvard like that, but he stayed there and we didn't talk. Bina burnt, he turned off the light and we burned that lamp whole night. And he didn't care to speak to any one of us. So that made us more uneasy. Others used to talk with us so much. So we thought, oh, he's a haughty person.
So after that day with Maharaji, he did not go to Kenchi, he went to your house?
Right in the evening, he came direct to my house. Next day we went to Hanuman Garh first. When he left, Maharaji said, don't give him, serve him this food ordinary. Serve him toast like this. So at that time, I thought he must be one very big guy or whatever it was. It was our, sometimes this complex, superiority or inferiority complex in Indians. So I thought like that. Then next day we went there and it was also that I was happy that I could get an easy ride, because it was very difficult at those days to get a ride to Bhumiyadhar because we had to walk on foot. There was no direct bus from Nainital to Bhumiyadhar. So that was also a charm for me, to be very frank. And then we talked. Then Maharaji talked. Hardas also came. to Bhumiyadhar. So that was the very first day of our meeting. Then gradually, then Maharaji left. In the winters, he was at Kachi with Bhagwan Das. And you know that room, the first floor, very cold with these pipes, the heaters like that. And Maharaji had asked me to, because at the time there was no restaurant, nothing, and very ordinary food was prepared at Kachi, not so many people. So he used to ask me to go Kachi to every thrice a week, or so I had to take some food for him.
So you went so often?
Yes, yes, and it was a very difficult job for me because I had to. There was only one bus, 12:30 p.m. bus, that would directly go to Ranikhet. So we had to catch. Otherwise, it was a problem. Now today we can get every 5 minutes any bus, any taxi. At that time, it was rather difficult, quite. So then, when I was doing like this for about 2-3 weeks, Ramdas had that feelings in his mind that why this boy has been doing so much for him. So he told to someone that perhaps he wants something from him like that. So at Naropa, then he spoke in that hall. You remember that? He said, this boy who comes, I still remember he, from the village where my guru used to live, then he used to bring food, and I thought that he wants something from me. But he was talking about the Indian traditions, hill people tradition, that feed you without expecting anything. So, and that is one of the beauty in Ramdas, that sometimes we tell him, sometimes we don't. That sometimes he used to make any mistake or anything bad in his heart, he would admit it. He admitted everything. So that is the beauty in Ramdas. He would just twist his beard. Yes, yes, like that. He admitted that thing. So we enjoyed all that moments. And then later on we became so close. He used, and luckily all of you, not all of you, but few of you could understand the traditions of our family. The first thing I tell these people, first understand this, can I do this, thank you, like that. These are, it's good as a formality, but it is not so common, especially in our families. Because when you treat our house as your house, then there is no need to ask, can I do this? I tell everybody, you do whatever you want. So that is the beauty of hill tradition. So Ramdas he came to I told you that story. One day he came with his bag. Well, you will have to vacate this apartment, I will stay here. He stayed there, and during that, many people would come in the evening to see him, Ayal and all these people. So it used to be just like a gathering in the evening. And he used to be the head of the family. Yeah. So that is the beauty when this relationship, worldly people, when they come, we do not feel so comfortable. But when you people come, it is so as if you bring Maharaji's presence. Maharaji, I have that feeling that when I say anything to Siddhi, she will never refuse. Even if she didn't like it, he will never say no to my things. If I want to stay, there is no room, and I will say I want to stay. Say, all right, you stay. Yes, she will never refuse. So that kind of thing, that faith, implicit faith, was ever in my heart since I met Maharaji. I don't know why. That was a kind of, I call sanskara, whatever, Maharaji, that they are coming just for your darshan and you are refusing. No, like that. He just yelling. I said, all right. I said, but I am not going to write them, no. I made it clear to him. And then came. And Ayal came, he used to come to my house I said, this is the problem. Then he was like, ha, ha, ha. If you don't want to write no, then you can write it indirectly like that. So I wrote that letter. That Maharaji's ways are this, he never refuses, he never says either. His doors are open and it is up to you to come or not, like that. Still I have that original copies with me. And KD has also saved one. So the day came, I was there at Kanchi, and before that they had arrived at Nainital to this Chaudhry's house. Then I was at Kanchi, and they must have asked where KK was, so they came to me. Then I went to Maharaji immediately. I said, Maharaji, they have come. I wanted to know his reaction. But to be very frank, I had never expected that he would get angry, and he didn't. He said, feed them. So that room had the Kirtan walas, that was empty. They were fed there. And Maharaji asked, are they taking their prasad? I said, then he gave me a bunch of bananas also, give them. So that was another thing that to make me sure that he was not upset. It was all indirectly. Yeah. Then they finished their food and everything. Then they have finished. He called, bring them. We were only 5 in that room, you remember. Jim, Jeff and Dan, Maharaji and me. And he was talking. Then it was hardly 10 minutes talk. Then they left. And I used to, just to show my superiority to everybody would leave, but I used to remain there. Just to show that I am more close to Maharaj. That was my ego always. So I sat there and I said, class, they are good people. I said, Maharaj, I never bring bad people to you. Okay, go. I said, all right. So that was the very first day. That's why Maharaji all the time when I told you that story of that girl, lady from Lucknow, all of you were singing there. So Maharaji asked that lady. That lady was, no Maharaji, they are the showy persons, I do not like their singing. She said so many bad things. Maharaji didn't say anything at that time.
Westerners singing?
Yes. And she didn't like it.
छत्तीस जौहान वहाँ है महनपुरी में नाम में थोड़ा हाँ ये क्या है
ये आपकी आवाज इतनी भरती है
बंद करो
So after 4-5 days, it was summertime. So all of you were again singing that arti and everything. See, Maharaji, see, every time his teachings were in a different way. He called that lady, and Maharaji was in tears when all of you were singing. And then you left, then he asked that lady, how did you like? She fell at his feet, Maharaji, I was wrong.
Oh.
Really, they have such a pure heart.
Wow.
So Maharaji, without telling anything, he would have contradicted her statement in the beginning, but he gave her time to find herself, to realize herself, whether she was right or wrong. So she realized it. And I can very well remember that he was in tears, and that lady, how did you like? She fell at his feet. So what can you say about this? These were the teachings indirectly. Had Maharaji told what I think when she said that they are the showy people, and Maharaji would have said, no, you are wrong. So it might have hurt her feelings. But again, the same thing, Sant Hriday, saint's heart, he never hurted the feelings of anybody that I ever saw. For some time he used to do that. But again, he do a heart to admit. He used to adopt what we call appeasement policy. Suppose my brother, my other relative and us, to appease me, who say, you are not as smart as KK is this. And I knew his ways of appeasing. And also on other times, if we want to appease another, he said, KK is not a good person, he has not that brain, you are more smart than KK. So he used to do that time. And I was lucky enough that I could know each and every of his ways. Yeah.
He'd say one thing to one person,
yeah, exactly,
them, and then other people would hear it for them.
Yes, that's I took it as sanskaras, because everybody has got different sanskaras. So he used to do like that. The same thing happened when KD first came. He was putting on a red woolpy, and Maharaji asked him to give prasad to everybody. So some of these people didn't like, but Maharaji said, you should understand the heart. Don't say. Every time he used to say that, don't judge anybody and don't form any opinion by his outward outlook. try to understand his heart, and that was not possible for an ordinary being. We cannot read anybody's heart except Maharaji. So he used to say something, and that always carried a meaning. And about Westerner, he used to say so many things. They are such a good, and he used to say that they can be befooled. They are so simple. They trust everybody, and they believe everybody. They believe in chief siddhis. Anybody can materialize anything. They will say, "Oh, he's a great saint." He used to give every time. He used to speak whenever there, and that's why he always. I don't think there was any day that he refused. It was only one day when that he said, "Kailas, tomorrow I am not going to see anybody." So I was really pained to. I said, "All right." Then in the night, I used to think all about that. That was the thing that I got from the Westerners. That during daytime I used to be with them. In the night I used to think what I have to do the next day. So in the period that night I thought, so what should I do? Maharaji has said this thing and this thing. Then I would just surrender. I said, all right. Other days you remember we used to go after at about noon. So next day, on that day, I don't know whether you remember, I asked everybody to get ready by 11. We reached there 1 hour earlier than other days. And I was thinking what he will say. He didn't say a single said, why you came and I already refused, asked you not to go. Never. So what to say? There can be no explanation. And sometimes he used to say so many things. I told you the story in Vrindavan. Sometime when there was some few people there and he wanted to talk with someone privately. So he would never say directly, go like that. He would say, bring some water and to some brings this food. So that he might talk to someone. So it always happened to me when I could know that he wanted to avoid me also before he's saying anything, so that I may not feel insulted. I would just go by myself. So one day I was there. He said, "Bring some water." I said, "All right." And he wanted to avoid me, so I went there. I didn't bring water. I knew that he was. So to my surprise, on that very day, after 10 minutes, I came. "Kailas, where is water?" Then I said, so his ways. Nobody can understand, nobody. In Vrindavan, I knew that he used to come to my room at about 10 in the night sometimes. I was only Maharaji and just nobody was, even the mothers. He took me. So in the one night at about 10, he came to my room and banged, and he took off his sweater and gave me, pull out all these things, when a sweater, these woolen balls, they...
Pills. Yeah.
What they call?
From plants or from
No, these things.
filling up of it.
So he took all, take them off. I said, all right, I will do it. I thought he was just making, just to pass the time, or he wanted to come to me like that. So I put it aside. Early in the morning, he banged at the door. Where is my sweater? I said, Maharaji, I am doing. So I had to do that. Actually, it meant nothing for him.
Right.
Yeah. So these are the moments, very ordinary things, but if you go deep, thinking why he did this and that, so there are teachings in that. Once he asked me to stay at Kenchi, and he told everybody, don't wake him up in the morning at 8, and I gave me a chair, and I had money stove. And someone from England had come. He had brought muti in their bags. So I took them to Kenchi. And I used to prepare my tea late because the tea was distributed early. I was a late riser, so I had to prepare. So for 3 or 4 days I was quite comfortable there. I used to take my time, get up late, take my bath. So after 4 or 5 days, he started coming and banged my doors at about 6 or 7. I was totally upset. I said, Maharaji, you had permitted me to stay and nobody would... No, it's not good to stay in the bed after sunrise, and this is not a good habit. He started yelling at me. So I had nothing to say. Then he would sit on that cot. I would sit on that cement floor. It used to be cold in the morning. Then prepared that tea. I used to prepare the tea for him. Then he would leave. Sometimes he used to feed the ego, going feeding, and then he would just give a jerk, just making him conscious that is just enough now. You should be here now, just like that. So that he did several times. I told you the story of apple. I used to go to office and then come out, leave the office early. So that month I did a lot. So every day I used to come at about 12:30, that direct bus. And I used to bring 2 big good apples. And before coming to Maharaji, I used to peel them, wash them, everything. And many people would sit around him, and I used to feed him. And he was very happy, and it was not out of my devotion for him. It was out of my ego, or say, how lucky I am. These people will say, oh, see KK, how lucky he is, that Maharaji has given him so much lift, or just for that sake, to be very true. So, and one day it was Sunday, I heard that, there will be many people today, being a holiday, and I took 2 apples and washed them, and I took to him. And to my surprise, he insulted me that day. Kilas, I am not feeling well, I am feeling cold, I can't take any fruits today. And everybody was watching at my face. I was blushing. That was although not a big thing, but I felt that in my heart. I said, all right, Maharaji, I have brought today, from tomorrow I am not going to come, nor I will bring any fruit for you. So you will be surprised to know, everybody was just in a different mood. And Maharaji ate all these. One other day he used to give some to that. He ate all these apples. And before that he was saying that he was not feeling well, he was cold. So what do you say about all that? And my whole heart changed. Before that I was angry. I felt insulted. The moment he took, I became so just like a about to cry at his feet. Yes, he used to do such sort of things. My incident with Maharaji, every story, now at that time I didn't know much. But sometimes I go deep thinking in the night hour. I think perhaps it might have been, he has done it for this. I interpret in different ways.
So
just like
things would keep going in your mind.
Yes, that is the good thing now. And it is good for the old age. Otherwise, in old age, people get attached to property, money, everything. So I think about all these things. Remember that thing, all. Janki, my elder sister, died. She died she was all right the previous night. She died next day while she was being taken to hospital. And Maharaji was at Kechi. I was very upset with Maharaj. I said, what's the matter, and this and that. So I didn't go to him for 2-3 months.
Really?
Yes.
Because you were upset?
Totally, because what's this? He could have saved it, like very petty things in my mind. He could have saved this and that. But I forgot about sanskaras, about that when the time comes, nobody can. But it was all selfishness in my mind. Then after 2 months, I went there. We were sitting there. Then he didn't say anything. I thought he would become more close to me. He said, you will die, you will die, you will die, I will die. He will not die. He thinks he will not die, pointing at me. That was the thing, the very first day after 2 months. So that turned my whole thing. So this was the way of his teaching. So that was the answer to my that.
So, remember he told you all the time a saint never dies, right?
Yes, all the time. Because these people, when Brahmachari Maharaji died, we were very sad. He said, how fool you are. On one side you say that saints I like God, you say, can a saint die? He will just, it is just like, he used to chola badalna. He always used that it is chola badalna, to change the chola in like ulfi, clothing. It is just like changing of the clothing. So Maharaji always emphasized on that way. And one thing and another, he said that if certain person dies, he would never come in the same form. He used to say like that. To be with Maharaji was something else before 1952 or like that. And it was something else when people started coming after 52, 53. So at that time very few people knew him. So they had different opinions, oh, this is saint or like that, that kind. But afterwards then people would come and he was being visited by the governor of UP, all these big guys. So people started thinking that those who had not known about his greatness, some people came out of that thing, that Maharaji is being worshipped by so many big guys of India. So that was one of the causes of people coming to him. So they had different faith or thinking about Maharaji. Some people before 53 and after 53.
All of the people who physically actually were with him. Is there not a danger of people like us getting lost in remembering the events in the physical nature and not allowing him to be inside here in a in a way as in the present moment?
No, this always he made everybody remembers. He used to tell everybody. Every time he used to say, just warning people, once I catch hold of anybody, I will never leave him. You remember these words? Every time he, especially in the last 2 years, every time he said, once I treat anybody as my own, I will never leave him. He might leave me, but I will never leave him. It was just a thing just to create faith. So you can understand, you are always with him. So you may leave him, but he will never leave you. Yeah. Never, never. Because I had seen many people there where they left Maharaji, but now they realize, even Hardas, sometimes I feel that this Bihari, that man who prepares food, he went to Rishikesh, and when he said, Harda, why you do not come to Nainital, why you left Maharaji? He is kind of childlike nature. So this fellow said that there was something in his Hardas's eye. So we cannot say anything. Those people who have left Maharaji, even they have something, because it might be out of complex, out of maybe this kind of feeling insult or like that. But there is still something in everybody's eye. Even Siddhima said that Hardas had done that seva, nobody can do. I remember, and at Hanumangarh, he used to get up early in the morning. He used to do all things. At that time, you cannot believe, not a single person was there. Everybody wanted to avoid to go there.
And Hardas lived there.
Yes, and I remember when Maharaji used to come, one day he said to Hardas, ML was also there, he said, if he does okay, he used that word, agar wah theek raha, if he is all right. So we can interpret these words, if he theek raha, if he is okay, he is all right, or he is with this faith, and you can interpret his words. Then a day will come that Hardas will be able to talk to Hanuman. He said these words. But he put the if. So I now just always put my mind into if he will be all right. So he was not all right, and he said that he wanted to give him that joy ride of an elephant, but he preferred to have a donkey ride. So what can I do?
He said that.
Yes. And Maharaji, to be very frank, you can ask anybody, he fulfilled the desire of each and everybody, whatever wanted. Even today, somebody wanted a mill, somebody wanted a son, somebody wanted property, money, winning in the election. Everybody was satisfied. Some people say that Maharaji used to say that he had been to England and he stayed there for 2 nights and people offered him this bread like that. So I don't know how far these are true. But you know, the Herakhan Baba, you know the story, he appeared in Leningrad and Stalingrad. This Niels Olaf Kristander, the Swedish gentleman,
Who made that
Murti. That is an interesting story. He and his wife, they were traveling to whole of the world. So in Rasa they were staying together. In that very night they got a saint in their dream with the cap, and it was just like Herakhan Baba. So his wife he told his wife and his wife told to him. So they prefer, so what should we do? Then his wife wanted to return back to Sweden. And that Kristander came to India. Somebody advised him that you can get saints in India. So he came to Bombay and somebody said there is nobody like that and like that, better to go to the Himalayas like that. So it is a long history. He traveled all along. Finally he went to their Nainital Bank building in Almora. So there was a devotee of Brahmachari Maharaji, his name was Joshi. And he had to encash his checks, I don't know what. So he went there, he had this picture of Herakhan Baba. And that Joshi was very devoted. He took him, when he spoke about saints, he took him in his inner room. In India, only that person can be taken inside rooms whom we feel close. So he took him. There he saw the picture of Herakhan Baba. He said, oh, he is the person. And that Joshi, he became, what's that matter? What has happened? For a while he was speechless. Then he told his whole story. I saw this person and my wife saw this. You should come and quiet, take rest. He took rest in his house. Then he took him, at that time Brahmachari Maharaji was staying at Kasar Devi. He went there and so many things. The Kailash and Joshi, he was staying with Maharaji. And Brahmachari Maharaji, he said that he was filled with everything when he was with him. And then Brahmachari Maharaji asked him to make a statue. And that Kristander, he was a very good sculptor, nobody knew. Then the first impression how Brahmachari Maharaji knew that sculptor, that was. So at the time of this, Joshi was telling me, he has written very good. His son is in Lucknow. I was thinking just to bring, but I don't know what he has done with all these papers. So when he was leaving that place for Bombay, his face was blood red and tears. And Joshi asked, how did you like? He said, don't ask. Don't ask anything. I will write everything in detail from Sweden. And he made that statue. And people say that when anybody prepares a statue, he has so many pictures of that person this side from different angles. But he didn't want any photo. He prepared. It is so alive. It is in Kosani. Yes. Uphill. So, what can you say about these saints? He appeared there in Leningrad and Stalingrad both the ways. And so there is no question that he might appear here in different form. I told you that story of that in that Kumbh fair. I don't know who was that. How could an ordinary person can put his arm around Maharaji's neck and dance with him. He must be much more higher than Maharaji, maybe Hanuman or where. But they will never say, they will just avoid these answers. So there is no question of, they might come in any form. But it is up to you. That's why it has been mentioned, Jani lehu jo jana nihara. Only those people can know whom he wants to know. It is up to him that he will let you know or not. Even Maharaji, Siddhima told that when Maharaji left his body, a saint came and he gave a little rice tied in a piece of handkerchief and gave it. Put it in that storeroom. That storeroom will ever be filled with all these things. That is still there. So that's why I was telling Ramdas, if you people think coming to India next time, everybody is losing his memory, I am telling. So Siddhima might also. So I told Ramdas before coming, I will just make promise from Siddhima that if we stay there for say 10 days, she will have to spare at least half an hour every evening telling stories all about. While going to Badrinath, Habba, this Habba's daughter-in-law, she is still alive, Munni. And these were all, Maharaji asked him, Habba, bring sand from that river. He brought, and there were so many stones, diamond, other things. Habba, what's that? He said, Maharaji's jewel. You want to keep him? Then Maharaj, Habba was I told you, he was a very rich man. But I don't know about his sanskaras and karmas. He sold everything and he always preferred to remain traveling with saints here and there. So he said to Maharaji, what I have to do, I have already, what I had already, I had given up. So what I will do? I must, then Maharaji said something I don't remember. He said, the Maharaj, he threw it back in the lake. So, and Siddhima was present there. So these are the stories, they have teachings, and you can, everybody can use his own mind or brain to interpret it. You know, people think that a saint does magic. Maharaji didn't do anything, just to be with him. He had that power to change the whole being of that person. Provided you have that faith, you have got that devotion. It happens to be an auspicious day today. We call it autumn moon in India, to Vrindavan. This whole night is dedicated to the Leela of Radha and Krishna. So I will just offer the significance of that particular place, Vrindavan.
वृंदावन में धेनु चरावे, वृंदावन में धेनु चरावे, मोहन मुरली वाला मन चाकर मोर मकुट पीतांबर सोहे, गल बैजंती माला, वृंदावन में धेनु चरावे, मोहन मुरली वाला मन चाकर चाकर राखो, चाकर राखो, चाकर राखो ये, चाकर राखो, चाकर राखो, चाकर राखो जी मन चाकरी में दर्शन पाऊं, सुमिरन पाऊं खर्चिए, भाव भगति जागीरी पाऊं, भाव भगति जागीरी पाऊं, तीनों बाता सरसी मन चाकर जोगी आया जोग करन को तप करने सन्यासी हरि भजन को साधु आए हरि भजन को साधु आए वृंदावन के पासी मन जाकर मेरा के प्रभु गहिर गंभीरा सदा रहो जी धीरा मेरा के प्रभु गहिर गंभीरा सदा रहो जी धीरा आधी रात प्रभु दर्शन दीन आधी रात आधी रात आधी रात